I definitely feel that fashion and beauty is all about empowering women and helping them to feel great about themselves. I think, unfortunately, the constructs of images of women in media for so long have disempowered women in many ways, making women to feel as if though they're not beautiful if they don't, kind of rise up to the images that you see. I really believe, however, that beauty and fashion is meant to make you feel good. And that's how I believe women should use it. And on the days that you don't feel so good, it's a way to step up and to elevate. And I feel really fortunate because I feel that my experience starting at Oprah Magazine in particular, where it was all about empowering women, and starting there in the beauty and the fashion department, where it was about using beauty and fashion to make women feel spirited and feel good, and to really embrace who they are. And fortunately, I think that we're making strides and inroads in media and in advertising, with campaigns like the Dove campaign and so many others that have come around, like My Black is Beautiful, and others that really encourage women to celebrate who they are for who they are. And then makeup and fashion is all about celebrating and enhancing and a way to express yourself artistically. So it's all about expression. It's a way to communicate how you're feeling to the world. So when you're feeling fabulous and on top of the world, wear a 6-inch heel. I do. When you're feeling powerful and want to make a strong statement to the world, wear that red lip. Or if you're feeling a little bit more coy and reserved, perhaps it's a pale pink lip. Who knows? Whatever it is for you, I just believe that fashion and beauty is an opportunity for you to self-express. And that is power. At the end of the day, to self-express and to do that with confidence is power, whether or not you're feeling on top of the world or not so at the peak and at a plateau. Who knows? But to self-express is power. To be inspired by fashion, for me, I have been inspired by so many things, and I still am inspired by so many things, but the first time I remember feeling inspired by fashion was with and by my grandmother. I remember being perhaps 3 or 4 years old and watching her apply makeup in the mirror, and she would apply lipstick just so. I mean, she had the red lipstick, and you know how when you apply lipstick, it would create this point at the end. So she ran it down really, and she would apply it, and she took such care. And what I realized for me with my grandmother about fashion and beauty is that she was a woman who went to college, who went to grad school, who raised 3 children, who helped raise me because my mother was a teen mother when she had me, who took care of her mother, and who was a professional woman on top of that. But in those moments that she put on her lipstick and applied her makeup, or when she got dressed to the nines, it was self-care for her. And those were the moments that I felt she celebrated herself. And so it wasn't just about the frock, it wasn't just about the makeup, it wasn't just about the cosmetic, it wasn't just about the cover-up. It was me seeing my grandmother celebrate herself and love herself. And she demonstrated that love in so many other ways. So my grandmother was definitely my first fashion and beauty and style inspiration. And she still is. She really still is. From that, though, what I learned is to really find inspiration for fashion and beauty everywhere. I love traveling. I travel internationally often, which I'm very fortunate to do. I love art. I love meeting young women and people and talking to them about their style and their identities and talking about culture. I surround myself with young people who are so different from me, but also I say to them all the time, you know, when I do my Tai talks or with the young women that work with me, you know, they say that I'm so inspiring, and I say, well, I'm inspired by you. And that's not only in life, but it's in style too, because life is style. That's the two are synonymous for me. They're not separate. So I find fashion inspiration everywhere, but it started with my grandmother. It probably migrated from there with Diana Ross, and then as I elevated in life and experience, it's just everything around me inspires me, and how I feel. You know, I'm not the most emotional person every day, but I will say that my fashion and my style and how I dress can be very emotionally triggered or inspired. So, and here's a picture of my grandmother showing all of her fabulous and fierceness when she was very young. And this is an original photograph. I think she was probably about 18 or 19 years old in this photo. And she's divine. My Mary. I talk about her a lot, so. My favorite fashion trends for 2015. Wow, that's like, I mean, there are always so many trends that happen. I would say one of my favorites right now is all about gold and metallic. And so accessories. I think that accessories are always important in fashion, because even if you're not going to have an entirely new wardrobe or an entirely new apparel look, head to toe outfit, when you have the great accessories that you put on, you're really kind of evolving and helping to up your style quotient. So gold accessories, and I just like gold. I mean, because I feel like I'm shiny and we all want to shine a little bit. And so I think having a touch of gold is also making a very powerful statement. So that's one of them. The other style statement that I really like this year for 2015 is I really like the return to the 70s. We are seeing a lot of romantic kind of styles, both from floral prints to even the fringe, which is a little bit more of a flower child 70s feel. We also saw wide leg jeans back in. And I like the fun and the energy of the 70s. I think it was an era for African Americans in particular of soul and power. And I think that that's really important. But even overall, there was a great sense of camaraderie and a great sense of togetherness. So I really embraced the 70s. And it's also really good dressing for curvy bodies, I have to say. So I'm all about that life. And the other trends that I love, I'm all about accessories and great shoes, and I love a high heel. I am the woman, even at 5'11" and a half, puts on a 5-inch heel to walk my dog. No, I'm kidding. I don't even have a dog. I was just kidding. I don't have a dog anymore. Poor Abdul. I did have a dog named Abdul. I no longer have him. Gave him away. He's in good hands. But at any rate, I do wear heels all the time just because I love heels. And so the trend I love for 2015 are all about great heels. All of these decadent and very detailed heels. There are lots of great designs. And so that's what I'm loving. Gold, 70s inspired trends. That includes lace. I forgot the lace detail there too. And then the great shoes. Want to go shopping? I am a beauty girl, actually. A lot of people don't realize, even though I'm in the fashion and style lane, I was a beauty editor. I started out in fashion, so I'm a self-proclaimed and self-professed beauty girl. I love beauty. And my must-haves and the beauty products that I can't live without, I need a red lipstick. I'm not wearing red today, but I'm usually wearing red. I even wear red lipstick to go to the gym, and I'm not being funny, this is honest. And the reason why I do that is because red lipstick for me is like my power suit. Even if I have on a baseball cap, for me it's like putting on my armor, it's like putting on my power suit, it's like putting on my cape, and it gives me that boost of confidence to not only feel good and powerful, but to also feel great about being a woman. One of the things that I think is really, really important as women and as powerful, entrepreneurial, successful women making this world in business, making our way in business, pardon me, is that we don't want to lose our femininity. We have to own that. And I believe that when you go into the boardroom or wherever you're going, you own every ounce of you. You know, you don't leave your emotion on the table. You don't leave your, knowledge of brand work. You don't need to leave your knowledge of accounting or business. You bring it all to the table, and so my red lipstick's that for me. I also love lashes, and so I love mascara because I really believe that connecting with someone, looking in their eyes is really important. So those are my two must-haves. And I think I also got the red lipstick love, the love of red lipstick from my grandmother. Living a beautiful life on a budget is so possible. I do it, and if people tell you that they don't appreciate a good deal, I don't know what earth they're walking on, not this one, obviously. But one of the things that I believe strongly is that a lot of the major brands, especially like the brands owned by Estee Lauder and L'Oreal, even if you're paying less expensive prices for these products, what you have to realize is that these major brands have huge R&D departments. So just because they're economical doesn't mean that they're not great quality. These typically are the best quality products. So the P&Gs, the Lauders, the CoverGirls, the Maybellines, all of those brands, the L'Oreals, put a lot of work into the R&D. So I believe, shopping at the drugstore is completely possible. One of my favorite, actually, foundations for women of color is Black Opal. And Iman Cosmetics, and they're both found at your local drugstore. So that's one thing to think about in beauty. You can shop at your local drugstore with no problem and get some of the best products that you need. With regards to clothing and all of those other items that we love, one of the tips I have and one of the things I did, I know, when I was a younger woman, is clothes swapping. After you have worn items that you love, why not get together with a group of girlfriends and some of her friends and swap clothes? And you might do that for, $5 or $10. It's a way to earn money too, off of some of the clothes that you're no longer wearing. So you can almost consign within your group. That's one great way to get some new items in your wardrobe. And then there are a lot of great retailers. I mean, I don't have to name them all, but everyone from Target to Walmart that have a lot of great stylish items for you that are really accessible. Dress Barn. I mean, there are a lot of options out there for you to do that. And there's nothing wrong with vintage shopping. Love it. Absolutely love it. And if you can find a great vintage retailer to go into, you'll find some amazing things and sometimes almost brand new. The best fashion advice that I've received, wow, that's a tough one. I feel like we're always bombarded with so much fashion advice. The thing I know now to be true, and I remember my grandmother actually saying to me when I was a very, very, sometimes insecure, tall girl, I was 5'10" at about 13 years old. I could show you pictures, and it was not always easy being the tall girl and being at the end of the line and not having the boys like you because you were too tall to be liked. But is to dress for your body. Sometimes you want to follow trends, and those trends might not work for you. And ultimately, when you put on something that doesn't work for you, you're not going to feel good in it. So why are you putting it on? You wearing things that work for your body are also going to help you feel more confident. And when you feel more confident wearing things, you're going to walk more confidently in the world. So I think that was one of the best pieces of fashion advice. Secondly, and this is simple and it sometimes seems like a no-brainer, but I realize a lot of people don't realize this. There's nothing wrong with going to the tailor, and you don't have to pay a lot of money to go to the tailor. Your local dry cleaner has a tailor. So if you need to get a waistband adjusted to make the waist more narrow because you need the pants to fit your curvy thighs, or if you need to let the hem down because you're taller, or if you need to hem the pant or to hem the jacket sleeve, take it to your tailor, and you can typically get that done for about $6 or even $10, very low cost. And then you have customizable clothes, honey, just like the celebrities. There it is. So I became the beauty and fitness director at 17 Magazine when I was 25 years old. This was huge, and a role that I was deeply grateful to have. But there were a lot of lessons that I learned that I like talking about now, especially to young women like yourselves, because at 25, we typically think we want to be CEOs. We think that we're equipped to be CEOs. Everyone's like, I want to be a CEO. And I love the energy and the enthusiasm that millennials like yourselves and like I had at that age. What I learned from that job and having that job that I burned out of after 1 year, I was exhausted, is that pacing yourself is really important. And there's nothing wrong with pacing yourself. So while you feel like you have to have it all right now, while you want the 6 figures right now, while you want the corner office right now, while you want to run like 5 businesses right now, there's nothing wrong with pacing yourself. And actually, to pace yourself is to really promise and allow yourself the opportunity to learn and to grow and to be invested in and to invest in yourself. So pacing was really important and something that I learned. The other thing that I learned from that job that was really powerful and stuck with me even through now is the importance of a connectivity to the audiences that you served. One of the things that I pitched at 17 magazine that I think helped me land the job is that I wanted 17 Beauty in the pages of the magazine to reflect real girls. So I pitched then to the editor-in-chief that I wanted real girls in the pages, every skin tone, every body shape, every hair texture, every hair length, and I wanted those girls in the pages next to models and celebrities because this was in 2000 and, oh my gosh, too long ago, 2005, I think, or 2004 actually. And so this was well before social media, the proliferation of social media had happened, and we really saw the democratization of beauty. So I was a little bit ahead of our time, but I wanted to see everyone in one place, and I thought that that was powerful. And I now know the reason why that was so powerful is not only did I want young women like you to see yourselves on the same level as models and celebrities to really help bring a new standard and understanding of beauty, but it was because I brought all of you into my office. I spoke to you, I connected with you. And so the power of authentic connectivity when you're working with any group is important. It's not enough to think you know them, it's not enough to study them, it's not enough to read about them, it's not enough to quote them. When you're in service to anyone, and that's all we're here to do. We're all here to serve. So even with what I do right now with Tai Life, it's not about Tai Beauchamp, it's about being in service to women to empower them. We're all here for service. I did learn that too. So that was lesson 3. But to connect with the people that you're serving is really important, and that has to be wholesome and honest. So those 3 things: pacing, connectivity, and to realize that we're all in service. I've been really fortunate to have some amazing mentors. My first one is and was my grandmother. She will always be an amazing mentor to me because she taught me the power of not only dreaming but doing. And I think that that is very, very powerful, and she set the tone for me to do everything that I do now and to hope to do in the future. My second mentor is a man by the name of Raymond G. Chambers. He is a well-known philanthropist who did pretty well in finance and has now devoted his life to philanthropy, both here in the States and internationally. He was the founding chairman of Malaria No More and America's Promise, as well as Millennium Promise, and so many other organizations. And he's just an amazing man who has taught me the power of giving, and that you can never give enough. And if you have it to give, you give more. And that's been a really, really powerful lesson for me. My mentor in the industry of publishing is a woman by the name of Ellen Levine, who serves as the editorial director of Hearst magazines. And I met Ellen when I was a spry 19-year-old, getting an internship with her actually at Good Housekeeping magazine, and I'm still in touch with her. And Ellen has taught me so many things. She broke so many boundaries and barriers, being a woman in publishing. And she has always done so with so much grace, poise, while remaining true to herself, true to her business, but also very true to her family. And so I admire her greatly for that. And then lastly, a mentor of mine, though more so from a distance, has been Oprah. Even though I was fortunate enough to work with her, I've learned so much, not only through my work with her, but also watching her. And I had the opportunity to interview her about 2 years ago. And she taught me something very powerful in this interview that I had with her. And she said, "I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters." And those 3 points that she made to me during my interview with her have resonated with me, and it's something that I quote often because they're beautiful reminders to me about why it is important to acknowledge other people and to connect with other people in everything that we do. Fourthly, I would say that I have a lot of peer mentors, because I'm surrounded by a lot of amazing women and men who inspire me and who tell me when my stuff is all messed up. And I listen and I see them and I watch them. And I think peer mentorship is really, really important. We always look to people who have supposedly done something that we aspire to do. But sometimes the people that you can learn most from are the people sitting right next to you. So this community is powerful. So legacy, I think legacy is really powerful. It's interesting. I don't know if I give so much thought to the term legacy as much as I do recognizing that I don't do what I do for me. I do it for others. So it's not just about what we're leaving for the next generation as much as it is about how what I do impacts others. So I think it just comes back to community and service. But in terms of legacy for the next generation of women and mentoring young women, which I'm very, very passionate about, I want women that come behind me to feel more empowered, more equipped, more ready, more in charge. And I really want us to, I want to see more leadership roles. I want to see us owning and doing more of everything, everything that we want. Because I even think what has happened over the last 10 years, so to speak, is that while we've seen growth, I think that we're still in our minds thinking that we have to limit some of what we do. So it's like, okay, if you're going to become this successful or, progressive or amazing businesswoman, then your family life is going to be sacrificed. I want us to realize and be able to have everything that we want on our own terms. That's the legacy that I want to leave. And, I'm figuring it out. That's why I froze my eggs. I'm figuring it all out. And the choice is ours. We have options and we have choices to make, and it is ours to make. It's ours to make. What would I tell my 21-year-old self? Wow. That was 16 years ago. My goodness gracious. What would I tell her? I would tell her that everything's going to be just fine. Everything is going to be just fine is one thing. And I would also tell her to party a little more, to be honest, because I was one of those people, a lot like you, who was very focused on the task and the business at hand, and I didn't have as much fun as I should have. And I really think that when you're developing into this person that you're going to be, and it's an evolution, you want to develop the whole person. You want to develop yourself holistically. The other thing I would say is everything that you want requires investment. And so being of the previous generation and, being raised by two lovely African-American women, I was told, you get your education, you focus on your career, you focus on your career, you focus on your career, which I did. And then I didn't realize that the partner or the man wasn't going to magically drop from the sky. And he didn't, and he hasn't. And so what I realize now is that I, at 28, not 21, but at 28 or 29, should have started to invest a little bit more time in developing my personal life as well, because it doesn't just happen. So everything will be fine. You have to develop yourself holistically, so have fun while you're also, sowing your seeds to be all that you're going to be. And then when you're 28, since we're talking in sevens, my lucky number anyway, when you're 28, if you want a partner and you want a family, also realize that you have to invest in that. And you have to invest in anything. Anything that's worthwhile requires investment.